evening. Welcome to Just the News. I'm Faye D'Souza. Let's get straight to the headlines. To begin with, the Lucknow bench of the Allahabad High Court has decided to grant bail to Ashish Mishra. Now remember, Ashish Mishra is accused of running his car over farmers deliberately in an incident in Lakhimpur Kheri in October last year, in which 8 people died. Now, the investigating team, the SIT in this case, actually submitted an investigation saying the incident was well planned and deliberate, which means it was not an accident. Nevertheless, Ashish Mishra has gotten bail today. Remember, Ashish Mishra is the son of the serving Central Government Union Minister of State for Home Affairs, Ajay Mishra Theme, who happens to still be in office. Updates on the hijab ban coming out of Karnataka right now. The Karnataka High Court bench that began hearing the matter today has adjourned the matter to Monday next week, which is the 14th of February. In the meantime, no interim relief has been given to the petitioners. Live Law has quoted the Chief Justice of the court saying, and I quote, "We will restrain anyone from adopting religious practices while we are hearing the matter." So basically, for as long as the court is hearing the matter, no one can wear a burqa or a saffron gamcha inside of campus. Something that the lawyers of the petitioners strongly objected to, saying that it would temporarily be a suspension of their rights and their faith. Remember, fundamental rights cannot be suspended at all. We understand that there is that the official order written down does not. We don't have one yet that says that they cannot wear any religious attire in schools. But this is the observation that has been made and reported from inside court. Observation, which just means that it was verbally said by the judge. In the meantime, according to ANI, the Karnataka Education Minister BC Nagesh has said the Chief Minister Baswaraj Bommai is having a meeting on Thursday evening, which is today. And after that, after the order comes out of the High Court, they will decide on reopening schools and colleges. Remember, they closed high schools and colleges for 3 days because of this incident. There was the matter that was also listed in Supreme Court that came before the Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramana. But the Chief Justice of India said, since the High Court is already seized of the matter, let the High Court decide after the end of the hearing. Seeking a transfer of that case in a hearing by a 9-judge bench, a constitutional bench of the Supreme Court, senior advocate Kapil Sibal argued that the problem is that schools and colleges are currently closed and the issue is spreading across the country. Incidentally, though, in a sort of related, not related statement, while addressing an election rally in Uttar Pradesh, the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, said today that the Yogi Adityanath BJP government has consistently been working towards preventing crimes against Muslim women. He said opposition parties, meanwhile, have stood in the way of Muslim women's progress for the sake of votes. The Prime Minister also went on to say that by banning the practice of triple talaq, the BJP government has ensured justice for Muslim women. An update on COVID. The central government today has decided to revise the guidelines for incoming international travelers, doing away with the mandatory 7-day home quarantine that was required up till now. They will now just have to monitor their own health at home for 14 days. It is also allowing quarantine-free entry for travelers from 82 countries. Samples of 2% of randomly selected passengers who arrive in India will be tested. They will not have to wait for the results. They can give their samples and leave the airport. This is what we know so far. Let's take a look at news coming in from the world of business. Really, the biggest development today was from the RBI that issued its monetary policy. Monetary policy is a policy in which the RBI manages inflation and interest rates. So let's take a look at that. According to the RBI, first of all, India's real GDP growth is expected to be 7.8 for the year 2022-23, this financial year. It's come down from 9.2, which was what it was expected in last year. Also, RBI has said that the retail inflation measured in the consumer price index came in at 5.3% for the last financial year and is projected at 4.5% for the financial year coming. Now, these numbers look really good because anything in the 5-4% area is a good number for a country like India that grows pretty fast. But our growth numbers are falling. But the real number that we need to worry about is the wholesale price index. So there are two indexes. One is what the movement of wholesale market and the movement of consumer market or the retail market. The wholesale price index was 14% in November and 13.5% in December. So that is still a worrying number, even though the RBI might project that retail is at 4.5%. The 13-14% on wholesale is something to worry about. And as far as the interest rates are concerned, the RBI decided not to change anything. So the repo and the reverse repo, which is the rate at which the RBI lends to banks, has stayed the same. So that has not changed. And the RBI governor said that this is an accommodative stance to revive and sustain growth. News coming in right now from across the world. UK's Prime Minister Boris Johnson has said the Ukraine crisis has entered what he called the most dangerous moment. On a visit to NATO headquarters, this comes after Russian forces continued their military build-up at the borders of Ukraine. Johnson said this is probably the most dangerous moment. I would say that in the course of the next few days, in what is the biggest security crisis that Europe has faced in decades, we've got to get it right, end quote. In the meantime, the Russian envoy to the UN office in Geneva has said Russia has no plans to invade Ukraine. There's no sense, motive, or geostrategic goal in this. He said Russia has always advocated mutually beneficial relationships with all countries, not only with its neighbors. And of course, I'll leave you with one piece of positive news, which also happens to be our sports update for today. India beat West Indies with 44 runs in hand, the second ODI in Ahmedabad, which also means that India wins the 3-match series 2-0. India rode a dominant bowling performance by Prasidh Krishna. 9 overs, 3 maidens, 12 runs and 4 wickets to bowl out West Indies for 193. That brings us to the end of the news. Thank you so much for watching. We've got a really special video up on our YouTube page that I would like you to take a look at, where we're speaking to women and lawyers about this whole hijab ban. We're going to ask really important questions about what takes precedence here, the expression of religious identity or uniformity inside a classroom. Do take a look at that video. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Good night.